This is my conversation with Mr. Madhusudan Kela, someone who really needs no introduction for anyone who is associated with the Indian markets. What a truly amazing conversation. Madhuji has been extremely candid, and what came through clearly was his amazing love for the markets. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, then please do so now, and also don't forget to press the bell icon. So what I wanted to do was to actually go back in time to the time when you joined SSKI. I think Sheikh, you joined SSKI. That was not your first job, but that was one of your first jobs that you had, right? You were a research analyst in SSKI.
So, Mahesh, just to put things in perspective, I
Yeah,
come from a very, very small village
yeah,
in Chhattisgarh called Kurud,
uh,
and it is near Raipur, 50 kilometers away from Raipur. I am a very proud son of a farmer uh, and a small-time businessman.
uh,
My father is still 88 years old. He still runs the same shop which we had in my village 60
okay.
years, very proudly. So we had a very, very humble beginning. And, I basically went to the school wherein absolute vernacular medium and we taught Hindi. We first learned ABCD when I was in class sixth, basically. And from there, I wanted to do something. I was pretty ambitious at that point of time only. So I wanted to do something. So I came to Mumbai. Honestly speaking, I did not know what an MBA is at that point of time. But one of my friend told me that this is a very good course and it involves basically practical knowledge and practical interaction. So there will be a lot of group discussion, a lot of interviews, and you'll have to do a lot of projects. So I thought this sounds interesting. So I came to Mumbai with a dream, as many people come. And I was very fortunate that in my early days, I was staying in Sydenham Hostel. And, that was supposed to be the best hostel at
Hmm.
that point of time.
Correct.
I'm talking way back in 1989.
Yeah.
That's where I met our common friend Dev Raman.
Oh yes,
He
yes.
was also in the Sydenham College at that time. So we interacted, So basically, uh, Mahesh, with these roots, with that ambition, I came and I was fortunate that I got exposure to stock market way back in 1989. And uh, early on, since I did not have any background, no understanding of markets, so it was, just the sheer size and the success of people which I saw
Hmm.
and I experienced, I was very determined that this is the place for me to be in because you don't need to be a son of Tata, Birla, or Ambani to succeed in this market. And I thought this is possibly the best thing because I can start with 100 rupees or 1,000 rupees and build on it. So, spend, then I did my MBA between 89 and 91. And I did it in finance, but it was basically an MBA in stock market. So all my projects, everything which was surrounding was being done in the finance field, but mainly on the stock market. So in 1991, again, I was fortunate that that time one of the biggest firms in the markets were this Champaklal Investment and Financial Consultants, CIFCO.
Yeah.
So I got a
Yeah.
job in CIFCO in the finance department, in the research department.
Uh,
I declined many good jobs, but I was so passionate about markets. So I joined in 1991. And then, my next job was SSKI, which is where, we started this writing reports, which was not done before. So there was a team of
Truly.
research people. I was more on the sales side, and we had a tie-up with Smith Newcoat way back at
Yes.
that point of time.
Yes, Newport.
And
Yeah.
only foreigners were just beginning to come,
Yes.
at that point of time, just beginning. So that's a little background.
Yeah. So that continued for some more time. You went to UBS, I remember, because we had met when you were in UBS, and continued. And then the next I know, because when I joined HDFC Bank in the beginning of 2000, the next I know is that you are part of Reliance Mutual Fund. So I lost touch with you for some time
So
there.
yeah, I worked with few broking houses in beginning of my career. So I joined Motilal Oswal, where we started actually the institutional broking house.
Yes.
I learned a lot about research because Ramdev Agrawal was there, and
Yeah.
he absolutely was one of the prominent names when
Yeah.
it came to research. And we had Nirmal Jain, who now owns India Infoline, was
Yeah.
also part of the team at that point of time. And then, of course, I joined UBS after that, and then my last job in that sense on the broking side was with Peregrine, because after Peregrine folded, I decided that I don't want to work with a foreign house.
Huh.
So that's when I joined Reliance, and that also is a very interesting story
Yeah.
to to get to know Reliance and to join Reliance. That happened in 2001.
That happened in 2001. Yeah, so this was the big break that really set you up to doing what you really wanted to do, which was to be in the stock market and be as a part of an in the investment side of things, right? I mean, all that you have done from education to working has led you to that portion, that thing.
That is right, nice. That's right. You can say that it was like kind of a dream come true for someone with that kind of a background to be part of Reliance in those days. And then once I joined, of course, after a year, we started to look into the mutual fund because it was a dormant entity. It was not very actively run.
Hmm.
So when I joined, literally the equity AUM was 12 crores. So we had
Hmm.
two team, Reliance Growth Fund and Reliance Vision Fund, 6
Really?
crores
Ah.
each. Yes, absolutely. And the total corpus was maybe close to 100 crores. This I'm talking of 2002, 3. And since then, we started to build it. Basically.
Wow, and from there you took it to the levels that it heights that it has reached, not levels that it reached. Uh, so this is what makes it very interesting for me to actually understand what how did it happen in the sense you saw stellar growth actually in the not just in AUMs but also the returns that Reliance Mutual Fund provided to its investors. It was stellar. That's the word that I would like to use. And what was the reason, not reason, but how did it happen? Was it a Madhukela's ability to pick stocks, one, or was it a process-driven, research-led thing that, from the bottom up things would come up and then you would, as the CIO, decide that, okay, ये कर सकते हैं या ये set of sectors में कर सकते हैं. Just
So
curious.
there was no CIO because I was one man army in
Uh,
those days. When I joined, I was literally the single man on the investment side,
uh,
and we had
uh,
one. I used to do the dealing also, and I was the fund manager. I was the CIO,
and the
all
research.
together
Uh,
basically, and I was the research analyst also. So basically, you are a friend, so I will be very candid with you. See,
uh,
the thing which worked
please.
for me, I would say, was my true passion and love for the markets, my true
Yeah.
passion and love for the numbers, and my true passion and the love for, really being very inquisitive about
Hmm.
how wealth is created. To some extent, you can say that I was not coming with any biases.
Hmm.
I had not read any Warren Buffett book or anything by then. And so I had an absolutely clean mind, an open mind.
Hmm.
And to the extent that, and it was all bottom up stock picking in the
Hmm.
beginning. It was all my relationship being built over 10 years, which I initially used to get ideas from all my friends and people and that point of time. And because the corpus was very small,
Yeah.
like when you're operating a 20 crore corpus, of your fund is up 10%, that kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
in the beginning, we didn't care about where the markets were. We only were focused about just working on those ideas and
Hmm.
making sure. So I remember in 2002, markets were down some 40%, 2002, 3, and
Uh,
we were up 40%. And that continued for a few years. Mahesh, just to put things in perspective,
uh,
when I joined the Reliance Growth Fund NAV, was 11 rupees. And in 2010, when I actively stopped managing money, it was 1100 rupees. So almost 100 times return in that time frame. And when the
Correct.
corpus grew from 6 crores to 6,000 crores. And then I must say that I was very lucky because I did not come from a baggage. I actually handpicked my team. So
Hmm.
as the corpus started rising, and as management started believing more, we had Amitabh Chaturvedi who came, who was again a great thing which happened to this institution, because he would take care of the marketing and the sales and that side, and I
Hmm.
would take care from the investment side. So we were very lucky. We got Sunil Singhania after me, and then we had Sailesh, Ashwini Kumar, and these were all, everyone was handpicked me. And again, the fortunate thing, Mahesh, that none of us had any fund management background. So we
Yeah.
all started from a clean slate. So we developed our own philosophy, and we call it, I proudly called it all the while, opportunistic investing. Why should
Hmm.
we married that we want to do things only this way?
Hmm.
Whatever will work in a proper framework, we will do it that way. And
Hmm.
when you say opportunistic, it is not in a negative sense, but in a very
Hmm.
positive sense,
Hmm.
that if there is an opportunity, we have to have the hunger to capitalize
Correct.
on the opportunity.
Correct.
So that's how we began. And because, as I said, we had no baggage or no background, we kept learning, because the hunger to learn, Mahesh, was
Hmm.
very enormous. Because see, when you know life, that when you have the courage to say that I don't know, the
Hmm.
whole world is available to you.
Correct.
But when you say that you know it, then
Huh.
your mind is always already closed.
Correct. 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 I
So
understand what you're saying.
I said, period. We don't know. So it doesn't matter.
हमको बताओ. हाँ.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
अब हमको से बताओ, तो आपसे भी मैं सीखता था, मैं
हाँ.
किसी और से भी मिलता था, सीखता था, कोई बाजार वाला मुझे सिखा के जाता था.
हाँ.
And but one thing is very good from the beginning, because of the passion, and because that you don't know enough, then you have to put that extra hours, you have to
Hmm.
put that extra passion, you have to put that extra hard work.
Hmm.
And that is what all of us did since the beginning. That if we find a company, not hesitate whether it is a daytime, night time, whether it is Saturday, Sunday, it doesn't matter. But I was a fund manager, but I would go to broker's office and sit there
Hmm.
to understand how are they doing research. I would go and meet with the people wherever they are. I would go to Ludhiana, I would go to Chandigarh, I would go to any place wherever the company is, and I would like to meet with them in
Hmm.
their office. So so beginning, it was a phenomenal passion, I would say, and we were very lucky. Also, I must say that we can build. One can build all kind of stories,
Hmm.
but luck plays such an important role, Mahesh, in your success. Because when we joined in 2002-3, when I joined, the market were just about to take off.
Correct.
You remember at that point of time,
Yeah.
after that Harshad Mehta debacle of 1992, markets had fallen quite
Yes.
a lot. The index had gone to around 2,500 level, and it
Hmm.
was just beginning to take off.
Correct.
And our journey actually started there. So we
Absolutely.
got so many good cheap companies,
Yes.
and we started investing, and then after actually Anil Ambani took over the financial services,
Correct.
then of course the entire focus of the group came on the
Correct.
on the financial services side, and from 2005 onward, then we expanded the organization in a very big manner, and then rest, I'm sure you know it, and all of
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
know.
Absolutely. The rest is history, so they say. Right. It really,
Absolutely.
really took off. So, just to continue with what you just told me, I had been hearing about all your successes and in stock picking in Reliance. So one of them that has stuck with me for so long is Divi's Lab. At one time, Divi's Lab was a stock which nobody was really looking at, and even if they looked at, they didn't know ki karta kya hai, will it be a stock to run. You had picked it up very early, I remember. How does one do something like that? I mean, my question is really from a prospective idea ki how do you pick a stock? Do you first look at a sector and say कि इस sector में मेरे को ये stock अच्छा लगता है, or do you just hear about a stock and study it and then say कि ये stock अच्छा है चलो invest करते हैं?
So, Mahesh, I come from a school of thought
हाँ
that nothing in life is conclusive. Everything is indicative.
हाँ
So, sometimes you may look at a sector and you may get an idea from there.
हाँ
Sometimes you meet someone in a flight, you may get an idea from there.
हाँ
Sometimes you meet a competitor of a company, you may get an idea from there. Sometimes you meet a colleague of yours who's a fellow fund manager, you may get an idea from there.
correct.
So indications can come to you from 100 different places. But it is your receptivity, first of all, and humility. Which, if you ask me, Madhu, what is one real strength of you? I would say that humility and understanding that I don't know enough and I'm willing to learn, and that has been with me throughout. So we will get ideas from anywhere, and then we will analyze it. Let's say when we started investing Mahesh in the construction sector, Nagarjuna Construction in those times was available at one-time cash flow. The company was making 20 crore profit and the market cap was 20 crores.
Wow. Okay.
And when I looked at the company, that those kind of opportunities were there. When I looked at the company, then I said that if the India is going to get built, and the entire sector market cap is not even 1,000-1,500 crores, all companies put together. And then you reflect that, that it can be very big. I remember my early days, and we will talk stocks, Mahesh. It is only for education purpose. Not any recommendation, and you must please put all proper disclaimers. So when we identified Siemens early, and when we invested in our mutual fund, Siemens market cap was 500 crores. And the electricity bill was already passed in 2002. The reform which happened, the big reform which happened by Mr. Suresh Prabhu had already happened. After that, Siemens was available for 500 crore market cap. The only thing which struck me that Siemens Germany is 100 times bigger. Siemens China is again 100 times bigger. Even at that point of time, how can Siemens India remain so small?
Yeah. How can it happen? Yeah.
But you get an idea, but what do you do with that idea?
Correct.
That is a moot point. So then you put all out effort, you put that extraordinary effort. In those days, it is not like today. All information is available. Those days, to leave part of my year, it was not like electronically available. So we had to put in a lot of effort. So who will say that, most of our big wins came from bottom-up ideas, with our ability to be open-minded. And when it came, we went really, really all out to do whatever we could do on those companies. And we left nothing unturned, basically.
Understood. So now that we've talked about some of the successes, I wanted to actually understand how you would handle failures. I would assume that some of the stocks that you picked wouldn't actually run, right? Wouldn't actually turn out to be good. So at what time do you decide कि ये चल नहीं रहा है? Something is wrong with the stock that you bought and you want to get out of it?
Again, Mahesh, early part of it was all success and success. And I would say we got too much success too soon, because the fund went from 100 crores, as I explained to you, to 1 lakh crore in 5 years' time. So, I was like considered a demigod, because, Madhu Kela kuch bhi touch karega, to ye chalne lagega, basically. We also had our share of mistakes which we did in that momentum, and I have no hesitation in admitting that. And actually, for a minute, I only thought that that if we work very closely with the company, we can actually make a lot of big companies, and to some extent, it did happen. So let me tell you, I don't want to go into specific names in terms of failure. But there were quite a lot of companies like I invested, I remember, in a company called Jai Balaji Steel
Huh.
in
Huh.
2007-8 because we had picked Jindal Steel in power,
Huh.
and I thought that they have a similar model, and they will be able to do the same thing which JSPL has been able to
Okay.
do, and we picked up quite a few other stocks
Yeah. Space.
in
Yeah.
that area space.
Huh.
But what happens, Mahesh, when you get involved more, that is when you try to discover. And we knew that, some of those were mistakes. So
Huh.
what is but as soon as I realized that it is a mistake, you have to cut your losses.
Correct. Correct.
That is the lesson. I am not saying that we could cut our losses in all cases, but actually we sold quite a lot of stocks very early. Like I would tell you, we got out of Punj Lloyd
Huh.
maybe at a price of 120 rupees, and then the Punj Lloyd became zero in
Huh.
next 10 years.
Yes.
So likewise, we did not sell at 200 rupees, but we sold it at 120 rupees.
Huh. Correct. Yeah, that is very important. In fact, the ability, and I think that is a learning that anybody listening to this should get, that it is not all about just picking the right stocks, but also getting out once
It's
you
about, more about making as minimal mistakes as possible and then recognizing that you made a mistake and cutting that off.
yes, yes,
Because
absolutely.
let's not forget, what we have limited is time.
Hmm.
And if you keep wasting your time on your losers,
Hmm.
on companies which are not going to work with you, you will have no time for your winners. So
This
the
is
moment you realize that you have a doubtful company in your hand, and the moment you realize that if this may not work, the best thing is to just get out of there and focus on something which is going to work because time is limited
correct.
and
This
so
is
is the
something
money.
I can put out actually. This is a very good quote, really. What you just said, that you have limited time. You should focus it on your winners rather than on your losers. So get out of them as soon as you can. Uh, this is really good. So one other question, because this is very important to me also. We have seen 2008, right? You have seen 2008. You have seen that huge crash that happened during that year. As a fund manager, how did it impact you? Did it impact you in a big way? Was it a stressful time? How did you cope with that? I'm sure everybody had to face a huge amount of stress.
It was stressful, man. There is no doubt about it. But we were again fortunate and lucky. Mahesh, I had created 35-40% cash for the fund house as a whole.
Really?
Because, the
Huh.
drastic intelligence, yeah, it must be Greenwich Book of World Record. I'm telling you that fund house was sitting on 35-40% cash.
Great.
And not for one day. We had through the whole year of 2008 with that level of cash.
Okay, that is quite something. That is huge, actually.
Yeah. And these are all facts. This is not my opinion. These
Yeah.
are all facts. You can go
Yeah.
back, you can look at our fact sheet. It is all available there.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, earlier one could understand that there is a euphoria in 2007,
Huh.
and when we launched the funds,
Huh.
in hindsight, maybe that those were also mistakes. When we launched a fund, natural resources, infrastructure fund, we got some unbelievable response,
Yes.
So it was very clear that there is a euphoria. So we did raise the money, but we didn't invest that money. So that possibly helped to some extent. And mutual fund is all about relative performance. And once you have that level of cash, of course, your relative performance will be better only.
Much
So
better.
that helped quite a lot. So it was stressful, but we were clearly rocking because of the cash which we held.
Hmm.
And because a lot of the stocks which did not work, we actually ended up selling in 2008.
Yeah. And then you had the money to buy again at the right time, I guess, with the cash that
Exactly.
was there,
In
right?
2009, actually, we were one of the biggest investors.
Yeah. Yeah.
In
Actually,
February
that is something.
2009, we started investing again.
Yeah. And once this kind of outperformance comes in a falling market, then that really sets you up for the future, right? Once you get this kind of outperformance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But, again, Mahesh, I'll be very candid and honest. There's a lot of luck factor in all of this.
Hmm.
And also, somehow, the wisdom only comes when you go wrong. And that was the like first big thing where we lost a lot of money.
Mm.
We had infrastructure companies in our portfolio, we had power companies, we had real estate companies, and all of them actually collapsed the most
Right.
in that time frame. And at that time, we were not this wise, as I'm telling you today.
Yeah.
If I committed those mistakes now, I would cut it immediately.
Uh,
But that time there was a hope. Okay, this management kept telling us stories after stories. No, we are doing this, we are doing that, we are doing this. So somehow, obviously, there were a lot of losses. So in spite of that level of cash, in 2009-10, the fund actually suffered quite a bit. At least some of those funds which were launched in that euphoric period had to go through pain. There's no doubt about it.
that is true. That is true. So let us now change tracks from what you have done there in the mutual fund side and come to your own investing. So in the sense that do you see any difference between the two aspects of things? You have been a CIO of a mutual fund and now you are investing for yourself. I mean your own money.
So there is a huge difference, Mahesh. A
Yeah.
huge difference. When you are, let's say, running a large institution, uh, but the positive side is that you have lots of support, you have lots of research which is pouring to you from all sides.
Yeah.
You have lots of corporate access that whoever you want to meet anytime,
Yeah.
that is helpful. Plus, you have a lot of global perspective. And plus, when you are working in a large format, you have a very large team. So some input will come from somewhere, some input will come from somewhere. So it's a collective win, I would say. But working on your own has distinct other advantages that you are
Hmm.
not under pressure. So
Hmm.
because I don't leverage myself
At all.
disproportionately, so rather I don't leverage at all, you can say. So so this is very beautiful thing that you are not under any pressure. And I would say, Mahesh, last 30 years of learning experiences, going right, going wrong.
Yeah.
Now, we are much, much more wiser, I would say,
Why?
after committing so many mistakes. We are more focused on the company which we do, much, much more detailed, because you have to do few companies. You have much, much more detailed perspective of what you're wanting to do. Your own circle itself has matured. All the
Hmm.
friends and
Hmm.
all your group, you may call it, that has also matured because you see from them also. So I am absolutely thoroughly enjoying what I'm doing now. I literally love the market. I One thing which has not changed, Mahesh, in last 30 years of my career is my passion and love for markets. I
Yeah.
still, like put 12, 10, 12 hours every day, and I enjoy every minute, every second of it.
In fact, that was actually going to be one of my questions, which was actually that Mr. Madhu Kela has achieved all that one would even imagine achieving when you start your career, right? I mean, if I told you in 1994 कि ये हो गए, so you would have said, यार इससे तो ज़्यादा और क्या चाहिए? And you have done all of that beyond imagination, and still the question really is that then was going to be that what is it that actually makes you wake up in the morning and repeat this process all over again? What drives Madhu Kela to do it even now 30 years se kar rahe ho?
But it's something like this, na boss. Tendulkar played cricket for 30 years.
Huh,
He had enough money after 5 years.
correct.
So basically, Amitabh Bachchan is still acting.
It's
They don't need money,
it's not money,
and for
obviously.
that, Mukesh Ambani is still putting 12 hours. So why? So my point is that, it is not, after a point of time, may not be necessarily only and only about material things.
Hmm.
It is about your passion. It is
Hmm.
about your love. I
Yeah.
can't imagine my life without markets.
Yeah.
What it will be, I don't know.
Wow.
So few people will say, okay, you go and you go in a beach. Okay, you can go in a beach for one day, or you can go for a holiday for 1 week.
Yeah.
Where you can be possibly without markets. But
Huh.
what do you? So I think this is my true love. It is my true passion,
Correct.
and I live it. I live, sleep, dream markets. And companies.
Correct.
So this is the reason for my existence, as you can say. So, and I am very fortunate that my hobby and work is same.
Yeah. So
Stock
no.
market is my hobby.
No.
Absolutely, stock market is my hobby and it is my work also.
No. It's a better
So when
option.
they say, when they say that you should retire, I said I'm already retired. That I am
Correct.
retired, but I'm pursuing my hobby.
Correct.
And
Correct.
it's such a pleasure, meeting youngster people, interacting with them.
Yeah.
Like, you told me that now today I have done 100 such interviews. I don't
Correct.
need to do
Correct.
one
You
more.
don't need to at all. Yeah.
But my thing is about giving back. If one person sees this interview
Yeah.
and gets the inspiration,
Huh.
I think this 1 hour was
Yes.
well spent.
Would be worth it. Yes, absolutely. In fact, uh, I'm sure some people or the other will see something like this and say ki the drive, and they can probably see the drive that is still there in you even today after all this while in the market. It is very visible and apparent actually. Uh, so in as an individual, you are now it is open. You can actually invest in international stocks also. So just a question: do you do that? Do you even bother?
No, I have not done that, Mahesh. To be
No,
honest with you, not done. But I see still a lot of opportunities in India.
no,
This is
that is true.
land of opportunity.
Yeah.
Lots of bottom-up ideas, lots of new sectors opening up, and there's so much to do here only that I've actually not looked
Why
at.
should you?
I know a lot of companies which have done internationally exceedingly well, and I wish I could invest into them, but I have not done it. I've
No.
not done it.
So this two three questions. One is that if you had a choice to go back in time and do anything differently or advise yourself, given your experience today, if you could advise yourself in the past, what would you have done? Would there be anything that you would want to do differently, or you're fine with everything that has happened?
No, no, no. I don't think so. So I think the first thing which I would not change, that if I had a wish with God
No.
that you give me another birth as a human, I will only tell him that my profession you only give me this money. You
Huh.
put me into financial market, yeah, at the same time, and I just so that I have no regret choosing
Yeah.
the market, being in the market, nothing, no change there.
No changes.
But of course, we learned quite a lot. So if we have to redo it, we will do it in a much more, with much more conviction. And I think the number of mistakes will be much more fewer than what they have been in the last 30 years.
Hmm.
Maybe you would know one of the things which I would like to do is really ride on my winners.
It's 5 o'clock.
Really ride on my winners. So basically, say that you don't need to discover too many, because one of the key learnings is, Mahesh, is that you don't have too many big winners all the time coming to you. So if you
Hmm.
get one, you have to make sure that you load your truck with that stock,
Hmm.
as they say, na. So the second thing is, sometimes we missed a lot of opportunities because of the timing. That okay, this stock is very good at 200 rupees, but it's not. Let me wait for 200.
Hmm.
That 200 became 2,000 rupees, and we kept waiting only.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Similarly, a lot of experiences with the bad and good quality of management. I would definitely work on only really good quality businesses and good quality management now. So we have our experience, we have our own share of experiences with people who are storytellers who basically told us a lot of stories, but execution wise, there were a lot of issues. So there are lots of learnings. I can do one more session with you on learnings itself, and I'm very proud that one thing which has not changed in me till date is again the hunger to learn. I would say I am as open as I was in 2001. If anyone can teach me anything with folded hands, I'm always willing to learn. And we are still learning. And if you ask me honestly, you said that you have done everything you have achieved. If I have to put my achievement in terms of what the real possibilities are in my own life,
Hmm.
I would say I'm well below 10% of my true potential.
Yeah. So actually,
And in terms of even market understanding.
yeah.
So I would say there is still a long way to go. We have to make sure that we are getting better and better and better at this game every day. And markets are very mysterious, Mahesh. They don't. No one should ever say that I've learned enough. Now you take the latest example. There is a coronavirus happening in the
Correct.
world. The whole world thought it is end of the world.
Hmm.
That we don't know how many economies, what will survive, what will happen, not happen. And you have this beautiful market. When the day the lockdown happened, we are at 7,500. Coronavirus fear has yet not gone anywhere.
Hmm.
It's still the world is still struggling, but we are from 7,500 in 6 months' time. We have had 12,000 as
Yes.
an index.
Yes.
And one of the biggest money making opportunities in the shortest period of time, Mahesh, came in the last 6 months.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Now, what can you say that you know the markets?
No. And actually, genuinely at 7,500, I don't think anybody had the.
No one was bullish.
No.
No one was bullish.
Yeah.
People were so shit scared. Even the smartest and the smartest of guys said nothing. No, कुछ करने का नहीं है, कुछ करने का नहीं है.
I know.
And the sectors which did well, one would have thought that IT sector will actually do very badly. IT sector has been the best performer.
In that period of time.
So where I'm coming from, Mahesh, as long as you have that passion and the hunger, these markets will keep you going.
Correct. It will keep teaching you new things all the time.
Exactly. And keep trying. Because you are always inquisitive. How did I miss it?
Yeah.
So for me, last 6 months is a very big case study.
Yes.
That even after being in the market for 30 years, what did I miss? How did I miss? How can I get better next time?
Yeah. In fact, because you talked about COVID, can I ask you this thing? Given all this situation with the economy being what it is, etc., any thought you have as to which sectors could be something that people could focus on? And obviously, market has shown it, like you said, IT, maybe pharma, etc. But is there anything that you personally are looking at?
Well, there are lots of new things which will emerge, not only because of coronavirus. Let's say I see geopolitical challenges emerging more and more. We don't know from which side it is going to come. So let's say China has been the factory for the world for last 20 years.
Totally.
If that changes, you have such phenomenal opportunities opening up for India, which we can't envisage today. So that's a new sector which is, see, all this education through online, like today you and I are sitting. This was not even possible here. 10 साल पहले तो possible भी नहीं था. So the education happening through technology, through online, these are going to be very, very large businesses. So you will have a lot of interesting bottom up, like pharmaceutical can be a very, very large opportunity, Mahesh. It is not that pharma के stock 2-3 गुना हो गए तो sector में तेजी खत्म हो जाएगी. Let me give you an example that today you have 27 crore people in India who are above, I think, 50 years of age. In the next 15 years, this number will be 45 crore people.
Yeah.
So from the domestic consumption of pharmaceutical, if you compare what has happened in other parts of the world, we have not even scratched the surface.
Yes, we haven't. Yeah.
So one quote which I must give you, which is like a driving force in my life. We always underestimate what the possibilities in the long run are.
Yes.
And we always overestimate ourselves in the short term.
Yes. Yeah. Totally.
So I think COVID will open unbelievable amount of opportunity. It's been a very unfortunate thing. I think for the economy, it has been very bad. For the country, it has been very bad. Lots of people have lost their life. But, there will be a lot of things which will undergo a sea change. And there will be a new way which will come, which may last for 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah. So new opportunities will come up. That's what you're saying.
Will surely come and markets are already telling us.
Yes. Markets are
look at something like a Zoom. Like this was not possible. It was always there.
Yeah.
But we never used it. Now Zoom stock has gone to $120 billion. Could you imagine just a message like it's only a service. It's not it's not a rocket science, right?
Yeah.
But the stock has gone up 6 times. Why? Because of COVID only, right?
Because of COVID. And I think market is
now people are got so used to it that they're not going to. Now, if I have a meeting with you, let's say next time if you want to do an interview, you would have never told me, Madhu, let's do it on a Zoom. But now we are used to it. Next time, if you want to do an interview with me, even without COVID, we can always do it over Zoom. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, people will stop actually having to go to somebody's office and things like that. They'll just say कि बात कर लेते हैं ऐसे सामने सामने.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Totally true. So, after this conversation, the last thing that I would obviously ask everybody is that, and definitely you, because you have so much experience, is that what is the advice you would like to give to a young investor, a person who is just entering this investing industry and wants to start investing his own money, let us say small, big, whatever it is, कि उसको करना क्या चाहिए? What is the 2, 3 things that he should do? He obviously let us assume.
I would encourage lots of youngsters to choose this as a profession and a career because I see it has worked for me and I see no reason why it will not work for anyone who is enthusiastic, who is passionate, who is willing to work hard.
Yes.
So that is my first advice that, choose this career.
Yes.
Second, Mahesh, is, that this is again a business and a career. Don't think this is a money-making machine or some speculative this thing. This is a real temple of capitalism in the sense that, so I am saying if entrepreneurs are putting so much money, so much risk to make 15-18% ROE on their projects, you should have a realistic expectation of making money from the market. Yes. You may be lucky, the money may double sometime in 3 months also, but you cannot extrapolate that in your life. If you made reasonable return of 15-20% CAGR over a longer period of time on large amount of capital, so that's a second thing.
Yeah.
Third thing that, again, what is coming from my heart is be open-minded, be flexible as an investor. Do not say that I am value investor, I am a growth investor, I am a momentum investor. As long as you are open and as long as you are willing to put your heart and soul into your ideas, I am sure success will come to you. And fourthly, just this is as much as about being humble, building good relationship as it is about numbers. So if you have the understanding of people who are there, and if you have the ability to build those relationships, even a good company goes through many cycles. So it is not about getting through these relationships. It is not about getting inside information. It is getting insight information. Well, the view is different between inside and insight. Right. So you always want to get an insight.
Yes. You want an insight.
And as long as you are open, then there is a lot to learn from this market. And on a closing remark, I would say, in markets, highs are much higher than we can ever imagine, and lows are much lower than we can ever think. Same is the possibility. These are about stock prices. Same is the possibility of life in the market. You can never imagine how high you can go.
Yeah.
And if you're careless, you can never imagine where you can fall from wherever.
Yes.
And we have seen so many people, so many entrepreneurs, so many stockbrokers, so many good investors just fall off a cliff.
Yeah. Yes.
And in India, we have so many examples.
We have.
But could you ever imagine what happened to Mr. Harshad Mehta would happen to anyone at the peak of his career?
No, totally.
It was impossible.
Yeah. Absolutely right. So what you really have said, and I think I would like to, this is one thing that has stood out for me beyond everything else, and that is your humility and your inquisitive nature and your willingness to learn from anybody. I mean, you are not saying you are willing to learn from anything and anywhere, and as long as these insights come to you, you're willing, open to accept it, and that I think is the key learning that at least I got from this conversation that I had with you. And I really hope that this continues in the future, and we hear about Madhu Kela, Mr. Madhu Kela, in the same way we talk about a Warren Buffett we talk today about a Warren Buffett, we talk about you in the same manner in the future. So just because I talked about the future, are there any ideas of actually launching a AIF or a FPI, or just asking? Okay, this was just a conversation. I don't really.
We'll do something nice. We'll do something. We are already starting to advise a foreign fund through So I have a bunch of very, very, very good committed people with me. So we will do something.
Yeah,
Something
I,
interesting.
I was certain that it is not possible कि आप कुछ करोगे ही नहीं और अपना ही पैसा इन्वेस्ट
नहीं, मैं तो करता हूँ और ऐसा कुछ नहीं करने का तो मतलब ही नहीं है, कर ही रहे हैं. We'll do more.
The hunger is there, right? Yeah. So, and any book that you might want to write to share your wisdom, again, just like that, I'm asking, not that there is any.
At some point of time, I may.
You will write. I really hope that it happens because that would have great insights for people.
I may.
Thank you so much for your time. It was a splendid
Thank you so much.
conversation. I have to really say again that welcome and thank you for what you have done and shared here with us. And I hope
Thank you.
that we will talk about it again in the future.
Thank you. Maybe you can close off the.
Yeah, thanks.